It's only me, the Kimmer, with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports wreck on tour extraordinaire, and Flounder, the mechanical mangler at the controls. All right, I forgot about a new format here for a second. I thought we were doing lids. I forgot we were doing the whole thing there. How you doing, boys? Oh, my God. Pete Davis, what's up with you, my friend? Hello,
just scratching. What are you doing?
Hey ho, hi-oh. Well, we'll get the cameras up there next time. Anyway, anything new at your neck of the woods around the mountains of Macon?
All I know is I slept through. Well, actually, I was late getting home, so I didn't see Aaron Rodgers get hurt, and then I fell asleep in the third quarter. I didn't see the miracle win by the Jets, so I missed it all.
Well, of course, everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, and again, I don't know. I feel terrible that I've kind of. I mean, I'm not saying "told you so" or you got your comeuppance, or I mean, I don't want to say anything negative. The poor bastard just signed a $97 trillion contract for 75 years, and he was in 4 freaking plays, and he's gone for the year, and maybe his career, that could be the ball game. And now,
it could be. In fact, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. And also now, just quickly, is that, and again, we got impeachment stuff and a whole bunch of newsy stuff. But is that money guaranteed? A lot of it's got to be guaranteed, right?
And you got to wonder,
a lot of it, yeah.
does he want to try and play again? Because you almost got to wonder, do you think he owes at least the Jets 1 year?
Isn't he 39 or something now? 38, 30.
He's 39.
39.
He said he wanted to play 2 years, but, I'm going to do something in sports and tell you how rare it is to come back and be anywhere near where you were.
I can't, honestly. And again, folks, if you are only an early show listener, Holy Crap at Sports is Pete Davis's podcast name, but also what he does every day. In fact, when we started working together 30 years ago, whatever it was, I demanded that Pete Davis be part of my show at 5 o'clock on our old talk show 30 years ago to do Holy Crap at Sports, a name which I'm proudly the owner of title of. Anyway, so well, before they steal
had to bring it all the way around to you.
Well, I mean, they stole the news monster. That was my freaking title too. I said I did that like 97 years ago. Anyway, so Holy Crap Sports is that was my title, and with deference to Pete because it's the best podcast there is, and he does it every day at 5 o'clock, a little after 5. Anyway, 5:15. So we'll talk about Aaron Rodgers, and I saw it, and at first I thought it looked like he rolled his ankle, and it was a clean hit, but they were coming after him, and he didn't have a chance all night. They were going to every single play they were blitzing. Anyway. Okay, but we'll talk with that. Now, geez, we got a million things. Some follow-up on 9/11. We're going to start with a funny little story. That's a very local little item, but something that I know the three of us can relate to immediately. And again, more 9/11 stuff. And the impeachment is beginning, and I have a lot of questions. What's your end game, Speaker? And I mean, and you've got to do it. There is forcing them into it. I see this once again. I don't want to be a cynic. I'm trying not to be negative, but you freaking Republicans already were getting naysayers in the Republican Party saying, well, we know it's too soon. We don't know. And they go, oh my God, he can't even get the first day under his belt without half the Republican Party saying you've made a mistake already. What the hell is the matter with us? I'm not part of the.
What do you mean us?
I'm not part of the Republican Party. I mean you. I'm not part of the Republican Party. I'm just me, and I vote the way I freaking want, which is not going to ever be Democratic until they're the old Southern Democrat that makes a little freaking sense. Anyway, so we'll get to that. I don't mean to scream. I'm sorry. So we got the McCarthy thing. Also, Sneaky Pete from Hunter Biden's lawyers trying to pressure. Well, we'll get to the story about trying to pressure the whistleblowers, threatening them before the whole case is known. Also, I just heard at the top of the hour in the 3 o'clock section, two of the cops who were involved with a brutality case and already got convicted in state court. Now they're going after him in federal court too. This is what they did in Ferguson, Missouri, with the divider-in-chief, Barack Hussein Putitat. He wasn't satisfied that they found out that the cops locally didn't do a damn thing wrong, so they came after him on a federal investigation. Well, now they're doing the same thing again. And guess what? They announced it today. Gee, I wonder if there's any irony there with what a coinkydink. What a coinkydink. All of a sudden, when's the last time you heard about Hunter Biden's laptop for a while? I mean, this is just freaking pathetic. Absolutely freaking pathetic. So we got that too. President Pants on fire. We're gonna play his. I saw this last night on Jesse Waters' show where they played the opening comments from President White Trash, President Traitor, who got to the podium, and wait, if you didn't hear it and weren't watching that, you may never hear it again. We'll play it for you. And if this isn't the old drunken uncle who embarrasses everybody when he shows up to freaking Thanksgiving dinner, I don't know what is. Also, a married Democrat babe running for an important state and representative Democrat House seat outside of Washington in Richmond, Virginia, was doing a little internet porn with her husband for a pay-per-view and asking for tips to raise money. She got caught, and now she's the one who's ticked off, and she's claiming it's revenge porn by the Republicans. Holy smokes! Have you ever gone through a political season like the last 6 years?
She got more than the tip, I think.
She got the whole thing. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I mean, but boom, wham. And there's another thing. I love this. There's a law in Massachusetts that's called right to shelter. That means the people of Massachusetts do not have the right to turn anybody away if you need a home for you and your children. Somebody has to put you up, period. So all of a sudden, in this little town of Woburn, which is a little teeny town, I remember playing their prep school in my prep school. Anyway, so all of a sudden they got 80 families and the town is overwhelmed. They said, oh my God, we had no idea. What a reality check. You got to take care of them. You got to feed them. The kids have to go to school. We don't know how we're going above and beyond. Our benefits are making it very attractive. So now they're trying to change the state law to turn away people who need shelter in Massachusetts. I mean, this is the Mayflower people, yes? Give us your tired, you're poor. You arrive from religious oppression, but don't bring no freaking 80 families to our little town. We have 40,000 people. How can we take care of 80 families? Well, how'd you like to live in Texas or Arizona? I mean, honestly, I'm dying every time I get these liberals saying, oh, we can't take care of all these people. 80 families? Oh, my God. Anyway, an update on legal gun owners in New Mexico are saying, oh, yeah? And just like, remember we talked yesterday, if we had lived anywhere near there, we'd be showing up with guns in plain view everywhere to protest this idiot girl liberal governor in New Mexico. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Also, armed robbery at Zaxby's on Old Milton. That's where I drive pretty much. I was there this morning. I drove in my cleaners. My pharmacy is like 40 feet from that Zaxby's on Old Milton. And I was there this morning picking up my stuff. Anyway, armed robbery right there at Zaxby's on Old Milton. This isn't Southside Chicago. Oh, I guess maybe it is. Anyway, thank God there was a guy in the parking lot with his own gun, and a happy ending for the good guys. Also, when I first saw the headline, Oliver Anthony cancels concert over high ticket prices. This will never happen again. And I thought, wow, this guy's really amazing. He's the guy who's representing the rich man, poor man, north of Richmond. But he's representing the working people and pretty much everybody and what's going on in America. And then I read the whole story and I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute. Now he's getting slammed and the guy is saying, don't ever book this guy. Whoa. So now we got a whole thing going. Anyway, we'll talk about that. And the Chris Evans story, too, and his wife. Oh, my God, the social media reaction is outrageous and ridiculous. And also coming up, I'm going to lose it. I'm telling you right now. The treatment of the Marines and others, but particularly of the Marines in Kabul in the treasonous, traitorous, unbelievably, horribly planned Afghanistan withdrawal. And if you haven't heard the story from again on Fox News, you probably haven't heard it at all. And it's I'm flabbergasted. I'm not surprised. I shouldn't be flabbergasted because it's just where we're going right now. And as an old fart-head Marine, I'm just, and again, I was telling Pete, there's something going on now about why even veterans these days are still afraid to say anything, afraid to talk, and even at Harvard. And it happened to me, and I'm telling you, 55 years later, it still makes me angry.
You were at Harvard?
I was at Harvard several times, but it's only for the girls with my friend Dave Eckel, who was actually in Harvard because he went to Groton Prep School, which is like the feeder school for Harvard Prep School. And I went to visit him a few times. Of course, I never, met one that I could actually kiss on the mouth or anything. But I went to Harvard. In fact, funny Harvard. One quick story. Well, it was Harvard University. Oh, this is weird. Harvard University was playing Holy Cross in football, and I was there for the game. So we're in the stadium at Harvard University. And the Harvard University marching band comes out, and these guys are all nuts. When the orchestra guy goes, boom with the thing or whatever, and they do the first whistle, they all go running around. It's like pandemonium, and they got funny hats on, and they go, and they run, and all of a sudden they get into formation, and all of it just instantly get into a formation, and they when they were playing Holy Cross, they misspelled Holy Cross with some of the letters backwards with a cross, and just to rub their nose in it. Anyway, they were very sarcastic as a marching band. Let me put it that way. All right, hold on, 3:14. We'll do the impeachment stuff. We got news, and we got it all coming up here, and holy crap at sports, and I assume we got Pete's tweets and Skynet, and we got somebody's birthday comedy guy, Flounder to the rescue with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3. Look out. Look out, it's only me, it's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis and Flounder, 319 on 106.3. We get a mister. There you go. Was on this day in 2007, the surviving members of Led Zeppelin announced they would return for a star-studded tribute concert in London. Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and John Paul Jones would play at a show to remember the late Atlantic Records founder, Ahmet Ertegun. The place of Led Zeppelin drummer John Bonham, who died in 1980. Again, this was 2007. John Bonham died in 1980. That'd be place taken by his son, Jason. The one-off concert, the trio's first performance in 19 years, would take place at the O2 Arena in London on the 28th of November. Oh, there you go. The bling there. Can I do a birthday? I forgot. Is Pete listening? Yeah. Is that okay? Okay. So I'm getting in the swing. It's a good thing. Quick birthday. Well, let's find a good one. Here. Jennifer Nettles from Sugarland is 49 today. Their hits include All I Want to Do, Already Gone, and Stuck Like Glue. And wasn't she was the chick who did The Cowboy Needs a Wife. Whatever happened to that show, by the way? Did they ever finish it? The guy get a wife? Did they all get a wife?
What's the name of the show?
Cowboy Needs a Wife. Remember that? We talked about the series, and I guess they all had. I think one guy couldn't decide, and one guy, I forgot. Anyway, it was kind of fun.
Was it a reality show?
Yeah. They
got canceled.
Lasted one thing.
He hog-tied one of them, and that just didn't.
Well, when you start branding a girl on the buttocks, that just they're just sure, holding her down's one thing. I mean, sometimes they squeal, sometimes they Anyway, and a quick history note. How about this? 1990. In response to the horribly unfunny video over and over of guys showing off tying a rubber rope to their ankles and then jumping off a 10-story building, for example, only to land headfirst on the concrete below because the cord snapped or it was 3 feet too long or, oh my God. Anyway, on this day in 1990, Australia banned bungee jumping. Did you guys ever bungee jump?
No.
Would you even consider bungee jumping?
No.
Have you ever been did any girl ever threaten you to bungee jumping?
No.
Me either. And nor would they. I've been challenged by a lot of things by chicks, and I've done them, and I've always regretted every freaking one of them. By the way, one of them almost killed me. But anyway, although I did jump out of an airplane. So that makes difference. Anyway, so there you go. All right, look out! We got breaking news! Oh, I'm afraid news is not always good news. I'm sorry. It's 3:22, 12th of September, 2023. After more than 100 years, we say goodbye to Bennie's shoes. It's over. Bennie Shamaria came to America when he was 16 years old from the island of Rhodes, a Greek island in the Aegean Sea. In 1909, he came to Atlanta. He opened his original shoe repair store on Marietta Street. Then he got Broadview Plaza in 1959, Johnson & Murphy Factory Reject Store in 1970. Everybody went to Bennie's shoes. Politicians, athletes, business people, broadcasters, radio people. Known for some of the best shoe shines and repairs money could buy, and the service was great. They took care of everybody. I can't tell you the number of athletes who used to go to Bennie's shoes. And the problem is he lost his lease, basically. They're going to one of 3 locations he had originally, and they're going to he lost the lease, and he says they said, well, gee, why don't you open up somewhere else, maybe a little smaller? He says, who can do that? It's too late. I mean, it's too much, and the world's not exactly greedy for dress shoes anymore either. Hell, look at me. I'm not wearing dress. I just wore these the girl shoes, whatever they call them. So he says in advance. Now here's the other thing. In advance of the closure, all in-stock merchandise, including name brand shoes, cleaners, polishes, everything on sale. sale, including 2 vending machines. And let's see, it's an Office Depot located a space adjacent to Bernie's is also closing, by the way. Anyway, so they're having a huge sale, and Benny Shoes is closed. I should give those away as prizes for our golf tournaments.
I'm telling you right now, somewhere in this city, in the suburbs, Jeff Hullinger is holed up in a dark room, hugging his coal haunch.
I mean, how many other places could a member of the Hawks get a size 14 triple E purple shoes? You know,
Friedman's
did. Yeah, Friedman's would go. And what was the other one too? There was another one too. Friedman's and I can't remember.
Dollar Tree.
I'll remember. No. Friedman's and Walters. Friedman's. Friedman's was the other one. Anyway, Benny Shoes after 100 years and it's closing down. And so anyway, and we've all been there. Anybody you
That's right. That's where I was telling Kimmer off air earlier today. That's my dad would take me and my brother there to get our school shoes growing up.
Yeah. And I guess he's got. Is this the last location? Right?
There used to be one. I don't know if it's still there, but there was one off Jimmy Carter, like right at 85 in Jimmy Carter area.
Yeah, I never went to that one.
I think Neil Bortz also did a lot of stuff.
Oh, Bortz did a lot of stuff with him. Absolutely. In fact, he used to send people. In fact, Mike Rose, my former original producer, used to work for Bortz many years ago, and Bortz would say, just go to Benny's and tell him to put him on my bill, get some shoes. So,
put it on my tab.
Yeah, put my tab.
A shoe tab. That's when you know you've made it.
You're in, baby. Just tell him, Bortz, say, put it on my tab. I get my shoe tab there. I check with you at the end of the month. Oh my God! By the way, 325. Shall I do my like a shoe update here real quick before we do newsy stuff, or have we already done too much personal stuff?
Go for it.
Okay, I put a thing on Facebook because I got ridiculed as I'm now queer, apparently, because of these new shoes I've got, which are Johnson & Murphy. They're not the ones I wanted, because I wanted ones with, a Florsheim and not Nunn-Bush. What's the other one? Yeah, Nunn-Bush. No, I can't remember the other one. No, Nunn-Bush, I think it is. Anyway, has a buck like this, but they have a little bit of a heel on them and a rubber sole. Anyway, but the only ones I could find that were in my size, so I made a little joke thing today showing one of my pairs of my cowboy boots with bull spurs on my cowboy boots, and so I was going to wear those. You know how much those would chop up my car trying to drive it and work on those things. Anyway, by the way, I'll wrap this up real fast. Just for the record, these new shoes, which I've shown on the internet and on Facebook or something, Rebel and stuff, are very hard to walk in. Because there's no heel. There's no heel. And, cowboy boots, which I've worn every day for, 30 or 20 or whatever years, I don't have an inch or an inch and a half or heel, and you have to walk totally differently. I have to learn how to walk again. I'm not used to feeling every part of my foot on the ground.
I would have thought that you would provide the heel part.
Well, no, I'm serious. Because it's just so different, because it's almost flat, and it's almost like sneakers. It has a tiny little thing there, but it's almost like sneakers, and plus I hate them because they're silent. I feel like I'm stealthing like a cat. I'm walking up behind somebody and they don't know I'm there. Honest to God, because I used to clunk around in my cowboy boots, and you can hear me coming for a block, and I feel like some kind of freaking dancer. Although the good news is they're suede. I love suede. Oh my God, I just had the greatest feeling. When I was a kid growing up, and I made it to prep school, and that was the time all of a sudden suede jackets became the thing. And I remember all my preppy buddies and I started showing up around town wearing suede jackets, and they were the sign of elegance and like the preppies against the townies. Oh my God, because of suede, a suede jacket. And now I got a pair of shoes that are suede, and I feel like I'm 15. Oh my God. All right, anyway, real quick for a newsy thing before we run totally out of time here, and then we'll talk more about it. And then you're going to hear President treasonous traitor, the head of the Cosa Nostra crime family. Kevin McCarthy says, okay. And here's how the liberals tell this story. Here's the first line. How liberal writes a story. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announced today he's calling on his committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden, even as they have yet to prove allegations he directly profited off his son's foreign business deals. I mean, even in the first line says, even though there's no proof of anything. I mean, my God, this is American media. Is this from Fox? I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, and I'm the one who asked for. This might be one of the NBC. It does either way. I mean,
what's the highlight? What's the?
I said McCarthy calls for formal impeachment. That might be the NBC story.
No, that's from CNN.
Oh, CNN. Oh, there you go. Yeah. There you are. Even though there's no proof. Oh, there goes that story. I mean, it's unbelievable. Anyway, it's 3:30 almost. There we go. Look out. Here we go. I'll be back. Da-da-dum. Johnny Cash. I can run the day. Hey, Johnny. Now, where's my... Here we go.
That's right where you left it.
You know, I got a figure. Hold on. Bum, 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 bum. It was on this day in 2003, Johnny Cash died. 71 years old, respiratory failure, 20 years ago today. One of the most influential musicians of the 20th century, known as the Man in Black. He started his concerts by saying, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash." Had the 1969 big hit, A Boy Named Sue. Tell me about it. He got a girl's name, really. Anyway, 11 other top 40 singles. He had his own TV show. He was. I remember when he played a killer on Columbo, which was fairly bizarre. By the way. Since I'm on the topic, not only is Johnny Cash died on this day in 2003 at the age of 71. He had diabetes, among other things. Also dead on this day in 1993, Raymond Burr, Perry Mason, and Ironside, kidney cancer. He was 76. Also dead on this day in 1992, Anthony Perkins from Psycho and other things died of pneumonia because of age at the age of 60.
Did you ever see Murder in Cayuga County, where Andy Griffith played the bad guys, based on a true story, and Johnny Cash was the good sheriff in the next county over?
No, I remember this. I remember it, but I never saw it. I don't know why.
So good.
Is it really good?
So good. Yes.
Really? Well, that's good to know. I had no idea. Let's see. And did I give a birth? I didn't give a. Let's give a quick, maybe a birthday here. Oh, yeah, sure. Here we go. Speaking of dead people, John Ritter's widow, Amy Yasbeck, is 61 today. She was the redhead on Wings and was Maid Marian in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. And Nina Blackwood, one of the original MTV VJs.
Yeah,
hi, Nina Blackwood. Whenever I'm in Atlanta, I listen to the Kimmer and Pete. Oh, sorry. Nina Blackwood is 68 today, so good for her. Yeah, I listen to her all the time.
Shaggy dog with that hairstyle she has going.
Well, MTV, man, the day the music died or whatever it was.
Hey, speaking of Ghost Riders in the sky, we got some thunderstorms up here. I don't know what it's doing down there.
You know, it actually rained at noon a little bit, not enough so I turned on my fog lights and used the wiper a couple of times, and then it stopped, and now it looks very cloudy. I don't know if it's raining. I can't see through the window, but it looks like no rain right here, but it's cloudy. And it did look iffy, so, so that's very possible. Okay, I mentioned my shoes and silly things. We mentioned Bennie's closing. I have one transportation item to mention here. Just out of curiosity, it might be me. All of a sudden, I am noticing, and not just here when I leave the building, and I know you've noticed this too because there's like parking spots here. I've noticed more and more in the suburbs, people riding those electric bikes, the electric bicycles. Not motor scooter, but electric bicycles. And they're all over. Well, maybe not over, but I'm seeing over and over. And the thing is, they don't have a helmet on them, and they ride them on the sidewalks. So do anybody know about that? Oh, by the way, let me give you our phone number. We love if you want to talk about this impeachment business. I think this is going to. I think I'm nervous. I'm all upset about the whole thing. Plus, we're going to talk about abuse of Marines in Kabul. Kabul. Here's the number: 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Anybody know about these electric bikes? I saw a guy just the other day.
You're also in an area that has a lot of parks.
Well, but have you seen what I'm talking about, right?
Roswell a good bit.
Yeah, they look like girls' bicycles, a little bit thicker on the frame.
Yeah, because it has an electric
motor.
Where you can kind of helps you go up.
I like them
uphill.
a little thicker on the frame.
Oh, thank you. But again, when I was in Vietnam, all the girls had electric bike. They had the kind that you generate. You had to like pedal 3 or 4 times, and then it would kick in. They were all like centrifugal clutch bicycles back in 1968. And now today, I'm one guy cut right in front of me at a stop sign in Alpharetta yesterday, and I said, "Oh my God!" Not only is he not wearing a helmet, he started riding on the sidewalk. So I guess you can do whatever you want. Is that true? Anybody know about that? And by the way, I thought they were really cool. And I thought, geez, if you were just going to do a little something, or you wanted to go just get out at night at 7 o'clock, but getting dusk and it's a pretty night, go take a drive in the nice cool breeze. You know what I mean? At the end of the summer kind of deal. What a great! I should do it on my Harleys. I used to love that time of night to just go cruising and stuff. And what a fun thing that would be on a bicycle around the neighborhood, whatever. But
now they also do it with golf carts.
Yeah, but those have to be legalized in certain areas. I think the
big neighborhoods and stuff like that.
Well,
you
down
see 'em
Peachtree
everywhere.
City and stuff like that and everything. Oh, yeah, but I mean, the bicycles, I guess, can go any place. They're on the sidewalks. I didn't know that was legal. Anyway, whatever. Okay, sorry. Now, okay, the impeachment thing. What is the deal? Is this real? Is this going to happen? Kevin McCarthy today, Speaker of the House, has said he's calling on his committees to open, quote, formal impeachment inquiries. Allegations of abuse of power, obstruction, and corruption. They warrant further investigation. I'm directing our committees to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Republicans have been investigating for 9 months, and the White House says they got nothing. They've turned up no evidence of wrongdoing. Even his own GOP says so. He vowed to hold a vote, open impeachment, and now he's flip-flopping because he doesn't have support. Extreme politics at its worst, says the White House. And, of course, it's going to be divisive. It's backfiring already, they're saying. There's a Republican from West Virginia named Shelley Moore Capito. When asked about impeaching Biden, said, I don't see glaring evidence which says we need to move forward. I didn't see it in the Trump case and voted against it. I don't see it in this case either. I mean, I just, no big deal. What the hell? Are you kidding me? My God. And, of course, then you get Matt Gaetz, from a Florida Republican, he's been trying to get rid of McCarthy, and he said, you're not, he challenged him. He said, you gave into our demands, and one of them was open an impeachment, period. And he says, you're not going far enough. This is a freaking baby step. We got to go a lot faster than this. And if you don't, we're going to kick you out. So here we go. So even though he did it under pressure, he didn't do it enough of it. So now they're saying we're still unhappy. These are Republicans already eating each other, and it's the first freaking day.
What they do. It's what they do.
My God. Excuse me. And by the way, okay. I keep mentioning, you have to play the numbers game. It would take 67 senators to vote to convict President Scumbag. We know that, I'm sorry, we know that 48 or 49 would probably convict, maybe even 50 or 51 if we get a couple to flip from the Dems. But 67 are never going to vote to convict, to impeach and get rid of that guy. One, probably because I wouldn't want to either, because then you get Carmela's side piece, the shiftless and lazy vice president. Oh, my God. Can you imagine her leading the country in the free world? Please. But I don't know what, Pete, what's the end game? Are they hoping that Biden will drop out from the pressure so the Dems can pick somebody else that they think will lose to try? I don't know. What's the end game? What do they think? What are they going to accomplish?
Well, McCarthy has to do something because the base is screaming and hollering. He needs to do something, and a lot of the American people want something to happen because they did it to Trump. Why not do it back to Biden? You got to fight back at some point, even if it's a little squirrely. But the Democrats, I don't think they have a clue what they're going to do yet. They're just sitting there waiting to see, if they can maybe sneak Biden on through, but they know Kamala's a losing thing. And Gavin Newsom says he's staying out because mainly, he knows they're just going to run video after video of San Francisco, Oakland, and Los Angeles. Yeah. He's not going to be president. Yeah. It's a joke.
And he can't be the guy to sidestep the black female who'd become the first first female president. So, they're screwed. But they get what they deserve. He picked her because she was black and a girl. Period.
Yep.
She was the worst candidate of anybody running in the Democrat Party. She was the worst. Everybody hated her. She didn't get a vote. She dropped out. And he picked her because of her race and her gender, just like Martin Luther King. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. It was the exact opposite. I'm sorry. Again, you freaking lying, stinking hypocrite Democrats. You feel just the exact opposite. And now here, and by the way, we'll talk some more about this. I still, again, the Republican Party, they should be united. We can't even be united against all that's happened, that's been revealed in the last 6 months against the Biden family, and still the Republicans saying, well, we don't have any evidence to go forward that he's done anything. My God, it's never going to. I guess they need the documents to say, or pictures of him putting money in his pocket. Even then, they'd still vote for him. So I don't know. Anyway, and one more thing here about this politics, and then we'll get the president's slom bag. I deliberately mispronounced it because I'm going to say a really bad word. Flounder, we'll get that soundbite of him in a second here. Republicans now are accusing Hunter Biden's attorneys of trying to intimidate the two whistleblowers who came forth in this entire Hunter tax probe thing in the first place. Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler. They now, apparently, the Republicans have written a letter saying that the attorneys representing Hunter Biden are interfering with the whistleblowers, accusing the lawyers of slandering the whistleblowers as disgruntled and urging the Department of Justice to prosecute the whistleblowers. Federal law protects whistleblowers from retaliation. Efforts to intimidate these whistleblowers raise serious concerns about potential obstruction of justice in the committee's investigation. They want all the documents about the IRS and any department as legal team contend with the Justice Department disclosing details about the investigation to Congress. They broke the law, should be prosecuted. They want any letters or communications from Biden's lawyers to the Department of Justice urging them to investigate Shapley and Ziegler, saying that what they said to the committee is slanderous and they should be investigated for crimes. That's a pressure against the two whistleblowers. My God. And by the way, this slime bag little smarmy little pimp Garland is supposed to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee later this month on their standard oversight committee. So that'll be rich. Let's see if they can maybe finally roast him once this time, because he's been caught in so many lies. I hope they do that freaking live. I hope it's on our show because we'll carry it.
Do it live.
We'll do it live. Anyway, coming up next, we'll talk about the Saxby's rap thing. But boy, we got the Oliver Anthony and the big spat over the song, also the Marines, and you'll hear President Scumbag the Traitor making fun on 9/11. 3:45 right now with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. I'm just watching video of Aaron Rodgers carrying the American flag running into the stadium last night for the game. I said, oh, poor bastard. 4 plays. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder and Rod Stewart. We'll listen a little Rod here for the say. Oh my God. Oh, it's okay. 2002. It's the Sun. Well, I was going to say the Sun. I was hoping this was Rod Stewart. See, now they shouldn't write it this way. This is bad writing. Flounder didn't do this. He didn't write this. But here's what the story goes: the son of Rod Stewart was sentenced to 90 days in jail today in order to undergo. I know some people say, "Oh, it's how Rod Stewart was sentenced to jail." You never write that way. You say Rod Stewart's son was sentenced to 90 days in jail, because I was going to make about a joke that Rod Stewart was sentenced to 90 days in jail for being hideous and having horrible hair and a lousy voice, and I hate him. But that would be stupid because we're talking about his son who was just a drunk. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so he went to jail. What was it now? 22-year-old Sean Stewart. Seen. He was ordered to undergo. Why am I laughing? Here's listen to this. The kid was ordered to undergo drug rehabilitation after pleading no contest to attacking a man outside a Malibu, California restaurant. The 22-year-old son was arrested after he was seen kicking the man in the face. He got 5 years of probation and had to give the guy $5,600. The $600 was for that last kick in the stomach. So that was, I don't know why I left. Oh my God, breaking news.
You may want to do it quick. I'm getting hit by a storm up here. There's a report from College Sports Corner and a couple places on Twitter that Nick Saban plans to retire after this season.
He should. Good for him. Actually, good for him.
So supposedly he is telling friends and close friends and family. And, of course, the rumors are flying. Somebody said Dabo, they're not going to take Dabo because Dabo doesn't believe in the transfer portal. And I'm sorry, that just ain't going to fly at Alabama.
You know what's going to happen? Oh, my Lord, I wonder. Well, and by the way, do you again? Holy Crap in Sports should be a little after 5. But this is a great news story, especially. What was that? Was that you?
Yeah, it's lightning's hitting up here, basically.
Well, we'll talk while you can, because you're about to get knocked
out. Kirby Smart. There's no way Kirby's leaving Georgia to go to Alabama. That's just dream on.
Please.
If Kirby leaves, he's going to the NFL.
Yeah.
That'd be the only reason he'd leave.
Now, do you think that Nick Saban made the decision because when he saw what happened to him against Texas, he said, I really don't need this?
He's got to the point where, he still wants to win, but he's older now. And
I agree. It's time. I mean, the guy's been doing it for 50 years. I mean, it's silly.
He's the greatest of all time. I don't think there's any argument anymore.
I mean, there's no argument at all. And I agree. I think it's great for him. I mean, he's still, young enough and still alive enough to enjoy a family life and retire and have fun. I mean, God bless him. So I think it's a wonderful thing. I just wonder why he announced it after the first loss. You know what I mean? I mean, all of a sudden, I'm quitting after all, folks. So, I mean, come on.
If he's thinking about this being the last year, what better way to rally his players than saying, "This is it, boys"?
Do one for the Gipper. Well, he doesn't have to do that for those guys, I wouldn't think. Well, anyway.
I think we're talking today, 2023 kids
true.
Today are different.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah, that's true.
There's not loyalty to the school anymore or anything. They don't grow up. They may grow up wanting to go to a school, but once the NIL money hits, they'll go anywhere.
Yeah. I don't
blame them.
Yeah. Anyway, so the word that this is Nick Saban's last year. Pete Davis with the
allegedly. Now it's just a rumor. Nothing official has been said about this.
I thought he.
No. This is just rumors flying around the internet right now. But people are saying it's not a joke. Well, it'll be interesting to see if you hear anything out of Alabama today.
Yeah. Excellent. By the way, we're going to play President Scumbag here in a second. But first, Flounder. We'll do that in a moment. First of all, on my personal Facebook page, people started sending me last night, or maybe I guess it was early this morning, started sending me pictures of the double rainbow over New York City on 9/11 at dusk. And I got 3 or 4 of them. A double rainbow over New York City. And one, Caitlin wrote and say, speechless. More views of the double rainbow over New York City on this 9/11 evening. Never forget. And people wrote in, amazing and exquisite. Thank you for sharing. Amazingness would happen. And even God remembered. Showed he will never forget. Still cries with us. Good work. How beautiful. I mean, it was stunning. Stunning. Anyway, just a thing. Just for the record, before I forget. Okay, quick. 3:54 now. I did that because Pete, we heard thunder go where Pete is. So, and a storm may be coming. Now, Braves are here tonight, aren't they? We have a game tonight.
No, they're
Philadelphia.
Philly.
Oh, they're still in Philly. Where were they? Weren't they?
They just did a doubleheader in Philly yesterday.
I know, and they're still there.
Well, they're not going to play 2 games and leave. They got a 4-game set. Well, it was 3 and they had doubleheader, so they got 2 more in Philly.
I guess so. Well, good. I mean, it's because. Oh, by the way, not that I thought I was going to make it. Yeah, they had a freaking concert last night. It took me 25 minutes to go 80 yards.
Huh? Did you know there was a basically amphitheater near you?
No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, I did not. 3:55.
Who put this airport here?
Yeah, I can't put damn planes. I turn around one day and there's a damn 8,000 people or 90,000, whatever the hell they hold there. I don't know. All I know is it took me forever to get across a freaking street. President Slimebag. This is unbelievable to me. I saw this last night. I couldn't believe it on Jesse Waters. I wish in the old days, if this had been Donald Trump, every media outlet and every social media outlet would have been leading with this for hours and hours and hours. President Slimebag shows up, and again, we'll talk about why he was in Alaska instead of at one of the more respectable places to be. Not that Alaska is not respectable for the 9/11 tribute, which is normal. Anyway, so he gets up to the podium. He gets to the podium. Okay, he gets to the podium, and here's what he says on the anniversary of 9/11.
Governor Dunleavy, it's good to see you.
Governor of Alaska.
Governor and I have something in common. We're both from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I wish I had him playing in my high school ball club when I was playing. But I could have been an All-American having you in front of me.
On this solemn day, as we pay, my God. He just makes a thing of, oh boy, I could have been All-American. I mean, holy crap. This guy doesn't know where he's the drunk uncle who's half out of the bag and with senility who shows up at family reunions once in a while and hits by mistake on the 15-year-old niece of somebody and spills his wine at the dinner table for Thanksgiving.
Hey, easy on the rich uncle analogies here, or drunk uncle, because I used to be the drunk uncle.
Well, then you know exactly what I'm talking. I mean, this is appalling. I mean, the reaction is outrageous. Yeah, All-American, all right. Cracking jokes about All-American football on the anniversary of 9/11. Another, I assume anything anymore that any anecdote is just fabricated and nobody cares that he fakes all of his efforts to connect with an audience. He doesn't get it. It's like not seeing the forest for the trees. Yeah, somber and respectful, my ass. If our leader's so willing to not show up at the memorial service, it's showing the message that Americans have forgotten, and it's not okay. Unfortunately for myself and for the other families and those joining with us this morning, we have no way of forgetting, unquote, Matt Bocci, the son of a 9/11 victim. John said after the 9/11 ceremony, this is something that forever changed our lives and something we're going to live with forever, even if the rest of the country can let this just be a day they do forget. I mean, this is outrageous. How can he be? I mean, he relates stories to him like he did with the people of Maui because he had a kitchen fire. I mean, they're all going nuts about this. Of course, the Babylon Bee's having a ball. Americans across the country recognizing 9/11. President Biden offered the victims' families comfort by telling them about the time he watched in horror as his Jenga tower fell right before his eyes. 9/11 was unspeakable, not only because my son died in the towers, Biden said. I've been in the same situation myself. For me, it was the time I was playing Jenga with Hunter. We were celebrating a sweet deal we had just closed with a company owned by some Chinaman. It was my turn The tower was in rough shape, but I thought I could still make my move. I poked around, and there weren't any loose pieces left, none. So I found one. I thought I could get it out. I gave the thing. I pulled it, and all. It all just came down. It was all I could do to watch. I watched the tower. Oh, sad day, folks. Sad day. Sad day. What a freaking disgrace. I mean, it's not anymore. It's not even his fault. Honest to God, I don't think he knows what he's doing. He walks up in front of people and says, ooh, I wonder what I can do to make them like me. Am I wrong?
No, he's a scumball politician living off the public money since he was 29 years old.
I mean, think about it. I mean, honestly, I don't even feel sorry for him anymore. I don't even think it's his fault. He can't help it. He looks at people and says, oh, I'll bet they're going to like me if I say something nice and tell a story. I mean, honestly, what's he? I mean, he's not campaigning. He doesn't. I mean, this is not. I don't get it. He's a freaking disgrace. Oh my! 4 o'clock. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Oh, we got comedy with the birthday boy next. I promise. Plus actual stuff, dude. Look out! 4 o'clock. Look out! Whoa, hey, there you go. Now, how's it going? Everything's good. Everything's fine. I'm upright and mobile, baby. And by the way, I called Amanda baby today, too, for the record. I like that. Going by every day. Hi, baby. How you doing? Just to make her laugh. It's my only kick down off my back. 403, how's it going? Now, well, there's a little jingle jangle here. This is Michael Hutchins with, I used to call it Inks. In excess, baby. Michael Hutchins on this day in 1995 pleaded guilty to punching a photographer named Jim Bennett outside a London hotel. He was fined about $600 in order to pay about $2,000 in court costs. Michael Hutchins in excess. Didn't he want to kill himself?
Hung himself, I believe.
Yeah. Was that a sexual thing or
I believe so.
Oh my! Like the guy, the actor, Kung Fu. Yeah, David Carradine. Man, I missed that show. I can't. Oh, by the way, on demand, my butt. I just got a notice. My on demand is no longer effective, and so then I can no longer get on demand as though I wanted it. And with my cable thing, and. So my box is outdated, so I need to take care of that. And then if I do that, then I have to have my TV box. And then if I do that, of course, it's going to be because my outdated rotor, the black box upstairs on my computer. So here's what's going to happen. So I've already asked about this. In order to do this, I have to go. I go to the place and pick up my own stuff, and then I go back home, and then I get on the computer and I get an app. I have to get some kind of freaking app, and then do it myself with instructions on figuring out how to wire it all together. And then when I do that, I have to reboot with a different app for the computer. So yeah, I think I'll do that right. I'll probably schedule that tomorrow. Yeah, so I may not be here, you guys. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm going to hire any 9-year-old to come over and freaking help me with it. Okay.
I hate it when my box gets outdated. You got to trade it in and find another one.
I know it. Anyway, it's a 405.
Hey, by the way,
yes.
I just got an inch of rain in like 10 minutes.
Jeez.
It's
It's really not. It looks. I see a little sun here, partly cloudy here. I would say no. I can't see any raindrops. It may be raining somewhere around here because again it was scattered earlier. But yeah, I heard that thunder 10 or 15 minutes ago. Let's see. It's a 405. I guess we're into the segment, right?
Do something.
We are. In fact, I've got a little comedy bit coming up that Flounder got for me because we have a birthday boy, and I'll talk about that in a second. Here's our phone number again. If you have a comment about the business with the impeachment is going forward and what this means to the Republican Party, whatever your comment is, and what's the end game? What are they trying to? What's next? Because the Senate's not going to convict. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. If you have any reaction to President Sleazebag and his the mental incapacity, he's a disgrace. It's offensive. It's disgraceful and offensive and sad, honestly. And his freaking enabling, wife. The cuckold chief, keeping him going. They never should have let this happen. They never should have let this happen. Anyway, 404-741-1230 if you'd like to join us. Now, let's see. Oh, I still can't believe they can't find that kid who's now got a .22 rifle after one of the homeowners in Pennsylvania shot at him. In fact, is he still in Pennsylvania? I think he stole a truck with a big refrigeration unit on top of it. Holy cow. And honestly, I guess they are assuming people are helping him. And he got a phone somewhere. I don't know. I don't know what. I haven't been able to figure all that part out. But I find it amazing. And again, it's a shame that he's a murderer. He's a dirty, stinking killer. Sliced his girlfriend to death. And he's a brutal butcher, murderer, psychopath. But this is like The Fugitive. How does he keep getting away?
A hell of a movie it's building up to be.
It's unbelievable. It's like, remember those two guys who had the girl, the warden's wife, and the two career killers, and all three of them escaped, and something because she was in cahoots to help them break out and stuff.
That was the Tom Hanks movie, I think you're thinking of.
But it was a real thing. It was a real story. No, it was a real story. I remember. Don't you remember that? It was somebody. It was a woman. I don't know. Whatever. She worked in the kitchen or something.
Is that the Green Mile?
No. Oh my God. Anyway, 408. Okay. Oh, also, appalling to me that we've paid a $6 billion ransom to Iran to swap prisoners, and then you just had the audacity to hear the White House guy say, oh, well, no, that's not the deal we made. Oh, like Iran's going to keep their end of the bargain. Yeah, like he said, the White House is saying, well, we gave them the $6 billion, but it was only for humanity. I can't even say it. It was for humanitarian purposes only. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll shake on it, okay? Hey, you shook hands, man. Oh, you dirty Iranian bag, you shook hands. Oh, that's not fair. I call do-over. You dumb freaking cowards. God, you want us all to die. They just swapped prisoners with Iran and said, oh, by the way, here's $6 billion to help you build some more freaking weapons. Might as well do a little oil embargo because that's not working. Oh, my God. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And Iran says, we can spend it any way we want. And then, I don't know if you heard the soundbite of the 4 o'clock news. The State Department guy says, well, Kirby said, no, wait, that's not fair. We didn't say that. And we said it was only for good things. You promised. You freaking nimrods. Oh, I hate these people. I swear to God. 409. I tell you what, Flounder, before I forget, we promise it's birthday time. On our birthday list is our birthday boy, Louis C.K. I used to really like him until I found out he was a little perv, and now I kind of like him again. I haven't heard him in a long time, but let's do this together. Louis C.K. birthday, 56 years old, and here he is.
My kids go to public school in New York City, and send your kids there then. No, it's good. It's good. Teach them that's what life is like. The teachers amaze me because I don't know. This is the worst. Here's the worst thing about this country to me is that there's no more noble profession than to be a public school teacher. It's easily. Please don't. You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like where it's going. Wait a minute. I don't recommend clapping at any things. You'll regret it at the end of the thing. In a democracy, there's no more noble contribution you can make than to teach in a public school. And in this country, the people that do that, they're losers. They're just rock bottom losers.
Louis C.K. I used to get a kick out of how he hated his children. It's a 3-year-old little brat keeps asking me stuff. But it was funny the way he did it, and he did it in front of them. I think I remember seeing him, and he had his kids in the audience, or they brought him on stage, or something. I can't remember. I think it was a little girl, a little redhead girl, like 5 years old or something. And he eventually got divorced because they don't, go for that too much. Anyway, speaking of divorces, I can't believe that this hasn't led to one until you realize they're both in on it together. Speaking of liberals, have you heard about this story of Susanna Gibson? 40-year-old nurse practitioner, mother of 2, and married. And she and her husband have been caught on a website a platform called Chatterbait, and another one called Recurbate. And here's the deal: that's a sex site where, for money, you'll watch people doing stuff. She is a Virginia Democratic candidate for the House of Delegates in a very important competitive race in suburban Richmond, Virginia. And the video's mostly taken down, but she's been outed. Video's no longer available on Recurbate, but apparently a GOP operative tipped off the Washington Post, who outed her. The woman, her name is Susanna Gibson, and she violated the terms and conditions of Chatterbait by soliciting tips in order to perform specific sex acts that could be seen on video, telling viewers she was raising money for a good cause. She's running for office for state representative as a Democrat, and that's how she's raising money. She told viewers she'll perform specific sex acts in a private room if viewers pay her for tokens. She said, I need more tokens before I let him do that. But one guy said, oh yeah, I want you to do this to your husband. Oh my God. Her campaign did not immediately respond to a request for a comment from Fox News, but she's talking. She's actually commenting on the whole thing. Instead, you'd think she'd be embarrassed as hell that she got caught doing sex on video for people who pay her for it on the internet or your phone. Again, social. your phone is yesterday's cigarettes. Gibbs, this chick says, they're illegally invading my privacy, designed to humiliate me and my family. Well, it won't humiliate me, it won't intimidate me, and it won't silence me. My political opponents and their Republican allies have proven they're willing to commit a sex crime to attack me attack me and my family because there's no line they won't cross to silence women when they speak up. Unquote.
First of all, she's talking about her privacy when she put a sex tape on the internet.
Yeah.
And second of all, whether the woman is giving sex to you or you're watching her do it to somebody else, that's called prostitution, isn't it? If you're paying her to do it.
Well, but again, if you have to pay her and it's private and not everybody can see it, it's like, cable TV.
It's still prostitution if it's in private.
I agree, but she's claiming that the GOP is violating state revenge porn laws, which are a misdemeanor when you try to get back at somebody for showing them in a sex act, basically.
If this was really a woman's issue here, the Washington Post would not have outed her. I mean, she should go after the Post.
But, have you ever heard of a political season like this one in the last 6 years?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say she wins the election.
Well, it's Richmond, Virginia.
Who knows today? Virginia's lost. Virginia's all Democrat. Lost.
I guess. Didn't have the governor said he believes in, having a woman who wants an abortion and changes her mind and says, well, maybe we'll wait to see how you feel after the baby's born if you decide to have an abortion then? That's the Virginia governor, wasn't it? The last one?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right, well, 4:15, boys. Here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And we got new stuff, actual newsy stuff. Look out. Here we go. New Mexico, their girl governor, liberal Democrat Michelle Lujan Grisham. Yeah, she says, we're going to stop that whole Second Amendment thing for a while there because people are getting shot, so we want to make sure that we're going to take away the guns of law-abiding citizens. Notice she didn't say we're going to take away the bad guys' guns because, of course, you can't because, you're not going to go get the bad guys' guns. So, and so she said, okay, now we're going to have a temporary gun suspension, calling it a public health order emergency. Well, for one, the NRA, among others, is saying, well, now, whoa, Stan, no, I don't, man, I really appreciate it, but that's ridiculous. It's shocking. Suspending the Second Amendment rights, ignoring the U.S. Constitution and the New Mexico Constitution, by the way. Instead of undermining the fundamental rights of law-abiding Mexican citizens, she should address the crime policies which endanger the people who have a right to call for a gun. Now they're calling for her impeachment. And of course, thank God, a whole bunch of... And Pete, you said this yesterday. We both said the same thing. If we lived anywhere near there, we'd have been there. We'd have done the show there wearing guns. And the street was filled with them outside of her office. Everybody's showing up. They'll take into the streets to show this is ridiculous. Gathered in the old town area, city's old town area with American flags, saying we will not comply. Why I'm here is the people's voice needs to be heard. Those on the ground, those dealing with these situations need to be heard. This governor's overstepped her bounds. Time for this to stop. This is going all over the place. Pick a state that's run by Democrats, and like in New York, the same thing with the Massachusetts people saying they can't handle all these illegal immigrants. Well, then stop being a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state. Screw you. You wanted them, you got them. God. And speaking of, I'm late. I'm sorry. It's 4:30 already. More Zaxby's armed robbery. Oh my God. What's next? 4:30. Look out. I was just thinking of that when I mentioned the history of the Endeavour, the first married couple in space, reminded me of Airplane, where the guy's making the announcements on the loudspeaker of the parking. The blue spaces are for unloading only. No, Fred, the red spaces are for, well, you're the one who said this anyway. Sorry. Look out, 4:36. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder, although they're not taking any part of that last segment, apparently. 1989, Aerosmith. They want nothing to do with me when I go crazy. This day, 1989, Aerosmith released Pump, their 10th studio album, which featured the hit singles Love in an Elevator, The Other Side, and Janie's Got a Gun. What are we playing here? Well, I don't know what this one is.
Love in the Elevator.
Ah. The only one I know is, what's one I Don't Want to Miss a Thing? Isn't that Aerosmith?
Yeah, but they did years later for a soundtrack for Armageddon.
Was that the one where his kid fell out the window?
No, that was Eric Clapton.
Ah, okay. Well,
What couldn't be more off right now?
Jeez. Any other wild guesses you want to throw out there about rock and roll icons?
Well, I spent that one summer playing bass guitar for the Beach Boys, so I maybe don't know everything.
You and Glenn Campbell.
Yeah. I was misinformed. I expect to hear that on a promo. Oh, my God. All right, anyway. Well, I don't know. Now, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing was a love song, right? Wasn't it his daughter on that one, or have I got this all wrong?
No, that's correct.
Yeah, that was his daughter, right? With the big lips and real pretty, long black hair.
Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler, yeah. Now, Steven Tyler, right?
Yeah.
Hey, boys, how's it going? Well, okay. Anyways, that's Aerosmith, and they won their case. What was it? It was featured the hit singles. Oh, here we go. Aerosmith found themselves in law school textbooks after a small rock band named Pump sued Aerosmith's management company for service mark infringement because their album was Pump. Aerosmith won the case. So there you are. Now, quick birthday, Joe Pantoliano, Cypher in The Matrix, Guido the Pimp in Risky Business, Francis Fratelli in The Goonies, Devious Teddy in Memento, and Ralphie Cifaretto on The Sopranos. Joe Pantoliano, or whatever his name is, 72 today. I hated him. He was the worst character, was totally out of place, had no business being in The Sopranos. He didn't fit in any capacity. It was just annoying, and every time I saw him, I wanted to, sorry, it was a little strong, maybe. All right. One last thing. 1940, teenagers searching for their dog, they're standing for, accidentally discover prehistoric cave paintings dating back more than 16,000 years in France, the most extensive Paleolithic cave paintings ever. 1940. All right, sir. Let's see. Coming up, if you just joined us, Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, calling for official formal impeachment inquiry into President Crime family, and that allows them to step up the process, and they can start doing hearings, and I think they can issue subpoenas, and I'm hoping this means they can start looking into bank records, as I understand it. And again, if you know about that, if you're like a constitutional lawyer, we'd love to hear from you either we got Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, whatever. 404s. Well, we don't have Facebook. I have my own personal one. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. If you want to call us, I think this means that they can start getting go to banks and say, okay, we want those freaking suspicious activity reports. You got like 150 of them, and most companies never get any. And Biden, 100 got 180 or whatever, how many ever was. And if they can get those, then they can make the link. And by the way, how come the granddaughter got money from some freaking Uncle Ceausescu in Romania? I mean, how come they haven't explained that? How come nobody's asked her? How come they haven't made a statement on that? It's in the news. It's right there. I mean, they got the document, apparently. What the hell are you waiting for? And how is it possible that Republicans couldn't all be together on this? Anyway, I guess they don't care. I mean, I guess they don't. I can't believe it. A local crime story. This was bizarre. This morning, I was picking up pills at my pharmacy, and right next to my pharmacy on Old Milton Highway is Zaxby's. Well, at Zaxby's, again, this is downtown Alpharetta. I mean, this is, Main Street and Old Milton is mainstream Alpharetta, downtown Alpharetta. Okay, 57-year-old guy walks up to the manager at Zaxby's as he's closing and says, "Give me all your money." And by the way, he had a gun. Well, guess what? It was closing time, and an independent witness happened to see what was going on, and he had his own gun. And when the robber pointed his firearm at the witness freaking shot him. And that's when the bad guy ran into the woods trying to get away, and that's when cops found him with 2 bullet holes in his leg. So they caught him. The 57-year-old scumbag faces a number of charges, including armed robbery, aggravated assault, which is attempted murder, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, a bystander will not be charged because he had a legal right to, a guy pointed a gun at you. I'm surprised the guy's still living.
Well, that doesn't make any sense at all, Kimmer, that a convicted felon would have a gun. I mean, there's a law against that.
Well, now, wait a minute.
That can't happen.
Don't we have a law, Georgia law that says exactly that? Convicted felons are not allowed to have firearms in their possession. And he also broke the law about having a hidden firearm until he pulled it out. That's 2 right there. I mean, this is not right. What would the governor of New Mexico do about this guy? He broke her law. He wasn't supposed to have a concealed weapon.
It just shows how these laws are insane because the criminals don't care about the law. That's why they're criminals.
Okay, and I've got 2 more quick crime gun stories one involving a teenager, so I really want to get to it. Also coming up, Oliver Anthony and the canceling a concert, and now he's getting creamed for it, and I got to think twice about what he really meant to do. Also, Chris Evans and his new bride, and they're going nuts over him on social media. But first of all, let me make the point about crime and guns and murder in America. Okay, for the record, let's say this once and for all.
And for all.
No, let's all together now, you bastard. And I keep falling for it. Pretend. No, seriously. There is only one way to make sure that nobody in America ever dies again from a gunshot. Only one way. Only one way. And that is to not have any guns in America, which means, okay, again, bad guys are going to have them. I don't mean that. I mean the only way to ensure that there is no gunfire shooting in America ever again is to get every one of them and take them away. Go into everybody's house, everybody's locker, everybody's car, everybody's everything, and do metal detectors for every American, every attic, every storage space, and get them all and melt them down. And don't let anybody in the country until they've been strip searched, including their baggage, to not allow a gun in the country either. And that's the only way you're going to do it. Now, what are the chances you think that's going to happen? Zip. So that I'm telling you that Americans have the right to have a gun, even though it means they're going to be misused. And it's the chance you take for liberty. And yes, I am saying I agree that I am allowing the opportunity for a bad guy to kill me. Because there's a right to own a gun, and a righteous owner may have a gun taken from him by a bad guy, and the bad guy kills me, but that had nothing to do with a righteous owner. He had the right to have a gun, but the bad guy broke the law and was not using that right. And this is serious enough to me because I just got my life threatened, last week? By the train, he said he's coming to kill me? I'm ready for you. You know, this is bullcrap. You're not going to take my gun ever, period. Because if you come forward, they're coming bullets first is the answer to the doorbell. I mean, this is serious about this. Ask the Arizona teenager saved his family, and the brother saved his sister from bad guys breaking in because the good guys had a gun. Next with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounders, 4:45. And now a love song, Lady's Choice. Is this CCR?
Yep.
I'll be damned. Dun, 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 dun. They don't sing in this.
Instrumental version.
It's an instrumental version, sure. 1970, Creedence Clearwater Revival, which is the same as Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago, depending on the number of trombones in the band. In 1970, CCR scored their first British #1 album with Cosmo's Factory. 9 weeks at #1 in America, sold over 3 million copies. Is this really just instrumental?
No, that's just the instrumental for that. The song is a long song, but it's not an instrumental.
Oh, well, are we not allowed to play it, or they just didn't get to it?
The one I pulled was just the instrumental version.
I got you. Now, why would they release an instrumental version of a song without them singing?
They didn't. Someone edited out the lyrics.
I got you.
I'm glad you mentioned that album. When I was in like 4th or 5th grade, my sister had that album, Cosmos Factory, and the Yes album, Fragile. And it sat there in my room for 2 or 3 years, me looking at it. And one day I said, what the heck? And I put both of them on the turntable and started listening. Yeah. You talk about a musical awakening to hear CCR and Yes at the same time.
When you were like 11 or whatever it was?
Oh, my God. Yeah. It was like, this is real music here, you know?
That's pretty cool. Our birthday, by the way, I have 3 sports birthdays. I'll have to wait until 5:15-ish for Holy Crap Sports.
Oh, by the way,
yes.
I just did something really stupid.
Oh, good. Welcome to the club. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I finally set my printer up. I've only lived here since March. I finally connected my printer to the computer.
I had to get the app for that, I think, probably.
And during the commercial, I started to leave the room, and I heard music playing. So I turned around and came back in, and there was music coming out of my printer.
Now, wait a minute. They don't have a sound thing. How does a printer have a sound thing?
Well, obviously, I switched the wires around, so I'm looking at the wires. And then I realized it was just the paper jamming.
Oh, so there's a musical thing. If the paper jams, it sings a song?
Paper jamming.
Oh, my God. It's jamming a jam session. Oh, dear Lord. We're going to have to. I'm throwing a flag here. I'm sorry. Oh, dear God. Oh, crap. Why didn't I get the SWAT Tumas on the phone? I should have taken a freaking call. No, sorry. Anyways, oh, God. Holy Crap Sports coming up later. I got 3 sports birthdays. In the meantime, but tell me about. Now, I could be totally off here, but one of the birthdays is a guy named 2 Chainz, CHAINZ, is 46 years old. I remember maybe a couple of years ago, or not that long ago, when there was a local story in our local Al Jazeera Constipation story about some local new guy named 2 Chainz who was doing something, maybe something for charity or something happened, and all of a sudden now I think he's a major star, a rap star guy. Yeah, Flounder, do you know this guy? Or Pete, do you know anything about this guy, 2 Chainz? I think he's local.
Let me check with the Google.
I literally the Google machine. I literally think he's a local guy. I remember seeing a local story on him that something happened where he became maybe joined with one of our little local guys or something. I think he's a major star now, another local Atlanta.
Yeah, it says he's born in College Park.
Yeah, and his 2 Chainz is 46, and I think he's some big major mogul.
He's an urban rap artist.
Yeah.
I guess you like to call
He
it.
can afford 3 chains now.
There you are. Anyway, so there you go. All right, that's a good. I've got more gun stuff to talk about, including the teenager saving his family and the brother saving his sister. Here is Swatoom joining us at 106.3 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Swatoom, welcome aboard, my friend. You know about whether or not it's good to take people's guns away, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in 1991, they took it away from us, and then next thing you know, we have concentration camps.
And tell the people where that was. Where was that, Swatoom?
That's old Yugoslavia, Bosnia area.
Yeah, Bosnia, Herzegovina, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, didn't they ban the guns in Britain and England? And now they have to ban the knives.
Yeah,
People are
right.
killing each other with the knives.
Yeah, and you can still, there's always hammers, my God. I mean,
Machetes.
Yeah,
Machetes.
there's a million things. Poison.
Also, Kimmer, I mean, in America, you don't have just guns. You have crossbow. You have bows. You have crossbow with multiple arrows. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
no matter what, there's weapons here. Second reason I'm calling is, did you hear about the guy named Eric Stewart? He is a professor who got fired because he's the one who created the systemic racism study, and they found out that he was lying. That actually does not exist. And the first thing he said is that they are picking on him because he's black.
Wait, he did
He's the one who's like every time you hear the CNN, NBC, and others say about
systemic
racism study.
Yeah.
That's the guy who wrote the study.
The saying where it's America's a country built on systemic racism and it's all slavery and all kinds of stuff. And so they found somebody found out he faked it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they checked his study and they found out that he only picked certain topics. He didn't go through everything that throw in there. And after that, they started researching all other stuff that he did, and they found out that he plagiarized a lot of junk that he published himself before.
And who was it that fired him that he worked for?
His name is Eric Stewart.
Eric
You can
Stewart.
Google him.
Okay, Eric Stewart. And is he fired from CNN or from somewhere or from?
No, he's a professor. I
got you. I got you.
Yeah, he's
we'll look for
some kind of criminology.
Anyway. Well, thank you, Swatoom. I appreciate it. Have a
Bye.
great Have a great day. I appreciate it very much. 4:56 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Well, breaking ding dongy ring breaker home. Oh, now Skynet, I scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, we were supposed to do it about half an hour
around
ago.
my freaking pacemakers going kilometer to kilometer here. 4:56 with Pete Davis and Skynet. Artificial intelligence is here to stay.
Next time you go to a ballpark, football stadium or something, make sure the person next to you is an actual person.
Oh, now, wait a minute. It's like that lady and that hot chick on the plane. I still get tingles when I think about her, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
The crazier they are.
God,
I'm a crazy
help me.
magnet.
You're so bad.
Anyway, people that went to the game in L.A. between the Chargers and the Dolphins got a surprise.
Yeah.
As some of them looked next to them, and there were people actors dressed up like scenes from the movie The Creator that's coming out soon that everybody's talking about. Where AI, they had these little nodule things in their back, the back of their head, which says they're AI, and they were literally sitting in the stands interacting with people.
Were they made to look like non-humans, pretending to be humans, and they're like robots?
They look like. Yeah, basically, you could tell they were robots because this thing on the back of their head, but the rest of them looked like a human being, just like in the movie.
So, so they were people as actors dressed as robots, pretending to be human, going to the ball game. Now this. Tell us about this movie again.
It's supposedly it's in the future. We let AI loose, and it turned on us, kind of like Terminator. It's like Terminator for the 2023
creation. What's it called?
The Creator, and it's supposedly there's the ultimate AI has been created. And they send a soldier to go kill it, and he shows up, and it's a little girl.
Oh, boy.
It's got a little girl's face, but you can tell it's a robot.
Yeah.
But they put a face on it, and he can't kill her.
It's a robot. It's like the old Twilight Zone where the guy, when you get sentenced for murder, they send you to another planet, and so you have a job to do. But say you don't go nuts, they give you a robot girl, looks like a real human, and then when your time's up to be served, they bring you back, but they leave the robot there, and the guy didn't want to leave because he was in love with this robot, and he said it's not a girl, mister, it's a robot. He said, I don't believe you, and they shot her. He says all wires and stuff like that. But again,
shot her in the face.
Oh my God! But we'll. It's coming. Here we go. And now is this already out, this movie? Or is it coming out?
No, I think it's coming out very, very soon.
But now, is this looking like a big hit? Everybody talking about it? I don't know. I've seen the name, but yeah.
They're getting a lot of good press on it, so...
Okie dokie. Anyway, coming on, I do want to mention this break in business and an Arizona teenager hero with a gun. Also, the brother saving his sister. A couple of quick done things. Also, Oliver Anthony, and I feel a double whammied here about his issue with the concert and prices and canceling it and what this means to the guy in Nashville. Also, Chris Evans and his new bride are getting roasted for what I don't quite but it made me think about ages and stuff, and now they're saying, well, she looked like a teenager. The guy's a pervert. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are still getting blasted for the Danny Masterson support. Anyway, we got more coming up. And the Marines in Kabul, ma'am, if you didn't hear about this, and when you do, it's going to blow a freaking gasket coming up. Also, Holy Crap at Sports with Pete Davis and another birthday boy, Louis C.K., coming up, comedy bit, and Pete's Tweets and more with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder coming up on 5 o'clock. Look out. Get together, ladies. Left shoulder. Right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Holy crap, it's sports coming up in a few minutes. And the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder. 5:04, look out. We're just having a little, we got set the stage. We got stuff coming up here, including a birthday boy comedy bit with Louis C.K. And Pete's tweets. And it's 5:04, and we'll set the stage with passing of Bennie's shoes. Yes, in case you didn't hear our program earlier today, it's a sad day today. Bennie's shoes, mainstay for more than 100 years, is closing. Yeah, the store located in the Buckhead Crossing Shopping Center on Piedmont Road, 8,000 square feet, once had 3 locations. Nearby Lindbergh Plaza. And Bennie's actual name is Bennie. Bennie Shamaria is a Greek immigrant from the island of Rhodes in the Aegean Sea. Came here when he was 16 years old in 1909. Now, wait a minute. He was 16 when he came here in 1909, so he was born in 1850. No, I don't think that's right. That's swear to God. It says he immigrated to the United States. Although, I swear to God, Bennie Shamaria immigrated to the United States when he was just 16. He came from the Isle of Rhodes, a Greek island in the Aegean Sea, and through Ellis Island before finding his way to Atlanta in 1909.
I don't think I agree with how police work here, Lou.
Anyway, he's lost the lease. They're going to close it. He's lost the lease and whatever, and he can't. He's too late to do anything right now. The man's up there. But everybody been to Bennie's shoes, my lord. Now I used to give away their shoes as prizes in our golf tournaments. Flounder was saying earlier that his dad used to take them there to get their shoes for school. And Pete, go ahead. Yeah.
I guess you could say Bennie's shoes has lost its soul.
Well, I'm going to walk away from that one.
Where's my rim shot?
Well, he's in the back. We need a freaking stewardess in there. I swear to God. No, Flounder can't do it. Are we doing on the phone?
I know.
But anyway, see, the problem is we need a stewardess in here. It's as simple as that. A little cute one, okay? Sorry. I know I'm dreaming. Stop it. Making me sick myself. There.
Which, by the way, it gives me a chance to say this.
Yeah.
If you call up trying to disrupt Flounder and his work when he's basically the whole staff, and you call up and try and disrupt
is that what they're doing?
That's
Flacco.
why bad things happen to you. And if anyone's asking why bad things happen to people, that's one of the things.
Are they messing with it? We get some messers on YouTube.
Well, maybe one or two, but that's about it.
Well, let's now, people, come on. We're doing a thing here, trying to, of course, that's why they're doing it, because we're doing, the right thing and having fun. God forbid you want people to have fun. If you don't like us, don't listen. Just screw yourself and drive by, call me names, and go home, and then shut up and leave us alone. What the hell? Why would you bother? Why would you want to put yourself through freaking anxiety and torment every day for fun?
I know.
God. Get married or something. Oh, sorry.
It's a small minority. It's a very small,
tiny
section.
Bit. Well,
but that's the reason bad things happen to people.
Yeah, and if we catch you, even worse things are going to happen to you. We're going to play President Scumbag again, making a mockery of 9/11. Also, if you have any reaction to the coverage of 9/11 or anything else, we'd love your phone calls, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And I say it twice and deliberately slowly because I hate guys on the radio to say, hey, 741-1230, call us right today. And they go, wow, and it's all gone. We talked earlier, we'll talk again later a little bit. Speaker Kevin McCarthy, may have heard on the news at 5 if you were listening then. He is directing the beginning of the impeachment inquiry into the Biden crime family. And of course, everybody's poo-pooing it. Even some Republicans are saying, well, we don't really have anything yet to go on. I mean, it's typical Republicans are turning on each other.
I think one of the other problems is they did it so much with Trump, the word impeachment isn't really taken seriously anymore.
Yeah, and again, no matter what they do, it's going to be, they're just doing it to get back. And
exactly. They just it's all retaliation.
And it's part of their plan, too. The Democrats knew this when they got Trump twice just to insult him and try to ruin him, knowing that the Republicans couldn't come back because it would look exactly like tit for tat. And sorry, I said that bad word. Anyway, but again, here we go. This is politics. I'm telling you, that some history professor at some point, this last 6 years has never been seen in any country in the world. Think about what's happened to the culture, the people, the political direction, the scandals, the First Amendment in the last 6 years alone of this country. No one's gone through this before.
I'll tell you what, when I was a kid and I heard about them impeaching Nixon, thinking about it, and I was thinking, what's that? I asked my dad, and he says it's something very serious that has never happened before, except during the Civil War with Andrew Johnson, I think, after they did him or tried to. And he said it's very serious. It doesn't happen very often. And then I didn't hear about it again until Clinton.
Yeah.
And now we're hearing it every other day, and it's lost. It's like the word racism. It's lost its meaning.
Yeah. And, of course, it's all political because they know the result before they start. And the result of this is going to be, again, if you just joined us, I don't mean to keep talking about this, but the fact of the matter is if you want to convict a president or anybody in an impeachment, it would take 67 votes in the Senate. It takes more than a two-thirds majority in the Senate, which is 100 people, which means 67. There are not 67 senators going to vote to convict Joe Crime family. Hell, it could be 90, and they'd still vote for him if he were allowed to run again. I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. It doesn't make any difference. So there's got to be an end run. There's got to be a reason here. I don't know what the reason is. I mean, what are they going to accomplish? I think the only reason really to accomplish, or the only goal to accomplish, is that if they are given subpoena power and they can go after bank records, then maybe they can finally prove the evidence to show who got money and then to try to figure out why they got it and show that it was obviously selling influence of the Biden family, and they have to link Joe to it. And if they can do that, then then they might be able to convict him of a crime, let alone impeachment. And then again, maybe this will give the Democrats a chance to say, well, Joe, you can't go through this now, and it's time to step aside before this all happens. But again, what's the goal? They're not going to convict him. So is it to embarrass him? Is it to get to Is it to see who the other front runners might be if he looks like he's in trouble? But again, that helps the Democrats, not Republicans. Does this do anything to help Republicans? Pete, he
has to do something because there's 40% of the base is rabid and justifiably so after the last 6 years and wants to have some kind of fight back. Do something. Quit talk. James Wood says all McCarthy does is talk. Shut up, get off the pot, or do something. And so he's got to do something because you have Matt Gaetz calling for him to be kicked off.
Yeah, and
so it's getting serious.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz said you broke your word. It was one of the deals they made when they elected him speaker again was that they would impeach Biden. Basically said we'll go through with impeachment. And Matt Gaetz even today is saying you're not. This is a teeny step. This is a baby step. We need to nail the bastard, and you're not doing it yet. So he's still ticked off. So again, he leads. Like I say, probably 40% of the Republican Party is going to be ticked off no matter what. But again, so what's the end? I mean, that's great that he's be forcing to pee or get off the pot, which is great. But what's that got to do with us winning the next freaking election? I mean, we can't even get together on that.
Well, they say we have to play nice because the other side is being bad, so we have to play nice.
No, the end result, the end is the end justify in politics today. I would never have said this. Never, because you're putting aside all of your standards and your basic sense of decency as a human being. But the fact of the matter is now because they have started it and the ball is rolling and we can't stop it being nice. The end justifies the means. We have to win. If it means stacking ballots, if it means early voting a year in advance, if it means going to every freaking nursing home with filled out forms. I mean, come on, people. We do everything they did. Early voting, all right. Yeah, no kidding. And drop zones, every freaking church in the country.
If we lose, it's socialism.
It's over.
If we lose, it's camps. And if you think I'm kidding, look at Canada. They have re-education camps now for their people in the, like their doctors.
Yeah.
Dr. Jordan Peterson has to go take a re-education course.
Yeah, to keep his medical license. And don't forget, if they win, and because we still can't get the Senate, if they win this time with the House as well, they're going to put Supreme Court members, around 19 of them, and they're also going to pass House Resolution 1, which federalizes all elections. If they win in 24, you still want to hold your nose and say, I'm not voting for Herschel Walker. We need to win. Hold your nose and win. Oh, my God, it's America. We don't lose. Hey, we have Americans love a good war. Oh, sorry, I wrote that script for the story. Anyway, 513. Pete's next. Oh, look, shut up. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kipper with Pete and Flounder and Smokey Robinson, baby. Yeah, sing me. Da, 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 da. 1970, Smokey and the Miracles with this number one. Here we go. Come on, sing me the title. Miracles at number one. You're not going to say the song.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, standing by, they're going to sing the song. Wait, sing. Here we go. What's that? Thank you so much, Smokey and the boys there. I like to talk right up to the big men. Their first a big number one hit in Britain, by the way, in 1970. Stevie Wonder was discovered by the Miracles member Ronnie White, and his producer Hank Cosby wrote the music for the song. Stevie Wonder wrote the music? And I'll be damned. In 1970.
That's one of those perfect pop songs, like "Do You Believe in Magic" and "Daydream Believer." It's like perfect.
Yeah. It's got there's not a thing wrong with that one. Let's see. Should we do an historic? Oh, you want Flounder? Do we have an historical? Oh, he's in back. We need a story. Is that in the phone thing? Are they bugging you back there?
We're going good. I'm right here. What do we need?
We'll do that historical thing I mentioned on this day. You mentioned him when I first mentioned on this day in 1953. On this day, 53, John F. Kennedy married Jacqueline Bouvier. They were together for 10 years till his assassination, November 22nd, 1963. And it was on this day we heard this.
I believe we possess all the resources and talents necessary, but the facts of the matter are that we have never made the national decisions or marshaled the national resources required for such leadership. We have never specified long-range goals on an urgent time schedule or managed our resources and our time so as to ensure their fulfillment. I therefore ask the Congress, above and beyond the increases I have earlier requested for space activities, to provide the funds which are needed to meet the following national goals. First, I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space.
Anyway, there you go. On this day,
so difficult or expensive to accomplish.
He goes on. Anyway, 1962 on this day, and by God, remember where you were in 1969, looking up with my starter wife, the one who actually did love me, at Phoenix, Arizona, or in Tempe, Arizona, at Arizona State University, and looking up at the moon and said, oh my God, they're up there right now. And wow, I got what a happy memory. Okay, doke. Anyway, by the way, Pete Davis, I forgot do I have sports birthdays? And by the way, we will. It's 5:38, and between now and 6, I will try to do the things I promised you I would be doing and haven't done yet. Sports birthdays include. Here we go. Yao Ming is 43. He is the retired Chinese center for the Houston Rockets. 7 feet 6 inches.
He was born today and a little bit tomorrow as well.
A little bit tomorrow.
Big baby.
Ow! Joy, Doc.
That's his middle name.
Also, Freddie Freeman's birthday.
Really?
34 years old. I saw in one of the sources, but not others.
God,
so I think
34?
It says 34 here, and I thought hard to believe that's true. I swear to God. Now, one of my sources said no, and Flounder's source didn't have it, and one of the other sources.
How old is Freddie Freeman? I'm asking Siri here. And let's see if she's thinking about it.
Yeah, well, she may have heard me talking to you.
Yeah, Jose, let me ask one more time. How old is Freddie Freeman? 34.
I'll be damned. I thought he was like 29.
I knew he's in 30s, but I thought he's 32, something around there.
Anyway,
oh, my God.
Happy birthday, Freddie. Also, let's see. Andrew Luck is also 34. Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, not into social media, but he did inspire the Captain Andrew Luck Twitter account which is written in the voice of a Civil War soldier writing to his mother about his upcoming battles.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Captain Andrew Luck, and he has nothing to do with it. And again, he quit because he couldn't take all the pain and agony from rehabbing because he was always hurt, and he said it's just not worth it. He lost the fire. Good for him. Well, he still can walk around.
He later kind of regretted the way he did it, though.
Yeah, true. He let him die. I think they were all disappointed that it was a kind of a bad time to do it, and it was sort of abrupt rather than, but again, it's his body, and like you say, he should never give back the money because he told the fans to go screw themselves like you tell waiters when you steal salt shakers and pepper. Man took a 4-foot pepper shaker and stuck it down his pants leg to sneak it out of Morton's one time, I swear to God. If he pays a bill, he thinks everything on the table when he leaves is his. Never
I'm
heard
a child
of
of the Depression. What can I say?
You needed the money. Man's got to eat. That's 5-4. Oh, by the way, now tell me what you think about this. Again, this is a little bit of a sports thing. And we're going to play President Scumbag here in a second about making mockery of 9/11. But first, you may not have seen or may not even heard, after the U.S. Open final, and congratulations to that little teenage girl, Coco Gauff, who was former Atlanta resident, who won her first major and won the U.S. Open. And I thought she was going to lose. What's that?
Did you see what ESPN did? When she'd won, she got on her knees and she prayed.
Hold on a minute. Now, don't get ahead of me. But again, the other thing, the other thing that's making the rounds now was what happened after the ceremony, and it was very gracious for the girl's name. What's her name? Sabalenka, I think it was. Sabalenka was very graceful when she lost, and she fought back tears and praised Coco as one of the rising stars, and congrats, she played unbelievable, and da-da-da-da-da. Then she went in the locker room and started smashing her racket and beating the crap out of everything in the locker room. Okay, good for her. However, it went on social media. The footage of her taking out her frustrations and smashing the place. She put her second place trophy in her bag and then went nuts with her racket and it went on social media. Well, Judy Murray, who is Andy Murray's mom, Andy Murray, the famous British tennis player, retired now, I guess. Andy Murray's mom, Judy, went on social media to say, now, wait a minute, somebody did something really bad here. She says this footage should never have been made public. Right. It was a private moment in an empty training room after the disappointment of losing a Grand Slam final. And so the mom came out and said, this is really unfair. I mean, it's just, just the typical freaking social media stuff. I'm not even sure they figured out who did it or whether it was part of a documentary they were doing. Anyway, the Judy Murray, by the way, is also a tennis coach herself. Oh, and now speaking of the Coco Gauff thing, here's what Flounder was referring to. The other day, when she won on Sunday, was it Sunday or Monday? Whatever, when she won, Coco Gauff, who anybody who's a tennis fan would know, that she is very religious, and she always talks about God and her plan and so on and so forth. Very, very religious and very open about it and so on and so forth. Well, after the tournament, when she won, she knelt down. She's on her knees with her hands folded and her head bent and her hands at her nose with her eyes closed. And so the girl, what's her name, Pam Shriver on ESPN said, gee, I guess she's kind of lost in the moment. I guess she's thinking about her victory. She was praying. I mean, my God, how could you not say she's praying to her Lord Jesus? God forbid she's afraid to say pray or God or something on television on ESPN.
She'd be fired on ESPN if she said something like that.
It's unbelievable. I mean, what a shame. I mean, who didn't know she was freaking praying, and who any tennis fan all knew because she talks about God all the time. Anyway, the Babylon Bee couldn't help it. As tennis champ Coco Gauff knelt on the court with her eyes closed and her hands folded, puzzled ESPN commentators were left to wildly speculate as to what Miss Gauff could possibly be doing. What do you make of it, Gene? Asked commentator Pam Shriver. Perhaps it's a new yoga pose. Never seen anything like it. As Miss Gauff completed the mysterious ritual and rose to her feet, ESPN ESPN producers poured over prior videos. It appears Ms. Goff has performed this bizarre practice several times in the past, said ESPN's Bill Bonnell. We're still at a loss. The only similar thing we've ever seen was when people would kneel on one knee in honor of Tim Tebow, also known as Tebowing. Maybe Coco just doesn't know how to Tebow properly. Apparently and evidently, a low-level producer explained to ESPN that Ms. Goff was praying. That producer was subsequently fired, and the person who hired him was also sacked for good measure. God forbid. I mean, how ridiculous can you be? Really?
I don't think Pam Shriver should be drawn in court.
No, I don't either. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, honestly, but just this whole woke, again, people, this is because they're afraid. And they're afraid because of the liberal left that just can't stop its momentum. And we have to stop them. Stop voting for these people, the leaders.
I'm shocked about you confessing something there. I did not know that you're part of that cabal who believe that God is a woman.
Well, it could happen, but it must be, because
You said Coco Gauff talking about God and her plan.
Maybe that's my problem. It's 5:45 already.
There's nothing better, by the way, than smashing a wooden racket. They showed John McEnroe doing it on Peyton and Eli's show last night. There's nothing more satisfactory.
I agree, and I've done it, and I've thrown a whole bunch of golf clubs till I had to start paying for them myself. 5:46, comedy bit, and we still have Pete's tweets, and we got stuff I promised before, so don't go away. Hold on now, 10 of whatever it is. Anyway, I don't know. bit coming up, and also I won't get a chance to rant and rave. I'll do it tomorrow about the Marine Corps thing and the Kabul business. But first, the Monkees. This is important. On this day, 1966, the Monkees TV show went on NBC, and again, they were made for the TV. They were not a singing group. The ad came out for people who could sing, who would be part of a TV show. Stephen Stills of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young fame auditioned for the Monkees, and Stephen Stills was told by the casting directors they were looking for somebody just like him, but with better teeth and hair. So they gave the job to Peter Tork.
Who looks like him.
Well, by the way, for you Monkees-related trivia fans, Michael Nesmith's mother, Betty, was the inventor of liquid paper. What an interesting tribute. I had no idea. And a couple of quick birthdays left over here. Jennifer Hudson, 42 years old, American Idol loser, but the voice coach and Best Supporting Actress winner for Dreamgirls. Jennifer Hudson, 42. Emmy Rossum, Fiona Gallagher on Shameless, and Christine in The Phantom of the Opera, 37. And Peter Scolari, he's that blonde kid, little dweeby kind of kid with the glasses from Bob Newhart show stuff. But Peter Scolari, 68. And that's the ball game I got there. Okay, we're going to do a President's Flounder. Are you okay? Are you running back to all? What are they doing back to you back there?
No, I'm just working on a promo and a couple replays. That's
okay. Let's do President's. I'm so livid about this. I don't know if anybody else played it. I didn't see it anywhere else except on Fox News last night once. And that is President Scumbag, the traitor to his country, when he steps up to the podium in Alaska when he should have been somewhere else for 9/11, the celebration or the memorial. And this is what he says at the memorial to Americans who died on 9/11, attacked by a foreign country on our own soil. And this is how he paid tribute to those memories.
Governor Dunleavy, it's good to see you.
The governor of the state.
Governor and I have something in common. We're both from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I wish I had him playing in my high school ball club when I was playing. But I could have been an All-American having you in front of me.
Wow, golly. Yeah, it's great to see. Yeah, great to see you guys. Hey, how's it going? I think I met your mother one time last week there, by the way. Hey, have you got any video of those bears catching those big fish, that salmon fish and that river stuff at all there we could watch for a while? I mean, what a freaking disgrace. I mean, seriously, can you believe this guy? Anyway, I just if you didn't hear it, you deserve to hear it. This is what he's like. I mean, it's not only demeaning, it's disgusting. It's just like he doesn't know where he is. He thinks he needs to make friends everywhere he goes. Oh, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Boy, let me tell you the story. It's like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving offended everybody. Thinks everybody will like him if he tells a nice little story. The man's a freaking president. Oh, my God. 5:55, I can't believe it. Pete, you got some tweets? You want the little Pete's tweets here?
Samantha on Facebook posted a story that explains a little bit about life up here in the mountains of Macon.
Yes, sir.
The Dunkin' Donuts did not get shut down for selling drugs out of it. It was the Shell station attached to it, and it was while the Dunkin' was closed. Please know what you are talking about before you spread false info that can damage a business. I will also say that the manager of that Shell station and a good handful of her workers do not represent the one employee who was making the bad decisions on third shift.
So we're going to apologize. Did we talk about them, did we? I'm so sorry. We can make it up to somebody. Please, I swear to God, we'll buy your donuts. We'll come there to buy your donuts.
Yeah, like a jelly donut and a honey glaze
chocolate
and
frosted,
a bag of meth.
Yeah,
please. I can't believe the British came up with this idea. They've invented an alarm clock in the shape of a box that looks like a pig, complete with pig ears and pig nose and pig eyes. It's cute.
Yeah.
But instead of waking you up with a noise like oink oink,
yeah,
it wakes you up with the smell of freshly cooked bacon. It's an oven and an alarm clock.
Oh, in fact, I saw a meme about that of a little girl, and it says, "Who wouldn't wake up to the smell of bacon?"
Yeah. And there's a meme going around, several, in fact, of people responding to Amazon. Amazon is asking for photographic proof that the package was not delivered. So people are sending pics of their empty hands, pointing at empty spaces on the ground to prove there's no package there.
Oh, mercy. Yeah, well, here we go. I guess that's the next thing then. Cool. I love it.
What else you got?
Are you done with that? We got time, Flounder, for a little Louis C.K.? He has birthday today. What did I say? He's 56 or something. I forgot. Anyway, Louis C.K. used to be funny. Haven't heard him in a while. Here's a little something there for enjoyment.
The other day I went to buy groceries and I forgot to have money. Have you ever done that? I wasn't short. I had no money on me. Nothing. And I didn't realize it until the poor guy had bagged all my stuff and everything. And he says, $85? And I said, I don't have any money. And he's like, what, you don't have enough money? No, I don't have any. The worst thing is I didn't know how to leave. I was like, well, see you later. I had fun picking this stuff out anyway.
Yeah, what do you do? Well, good talking. See you. I'm sorry you had to put that back. Want me to put that back? I'd offer to put it back, I guess.
I mean, if you went to that store and you were, if this did happen,
they would have done something. But still, that's free. Although these days, even you'd have at least a card of some kind, I would think. Oh, and speaking of money, we're almost out of time. I was going to talk about this earlier, and I get all those stories I didn't get to. I'm doing tomorrow. I swear to you. Oliver Anthony canceled his concert over at Nashville's Cotton Eye Joe because of high ticket prices. Rich Men North of Richmond singer told Facebook fans, "I'm not pointing fingers at Cotton Eye Joe. I don't know where the miscommunication took place. I'm upset seeing the prices. We're going to try to find another area in Knoxville that'll do a $25 ticket and free meet and greet. Otherwise, I'm refunding all your tickets, and thanks for the patience." Well, it turns out tickets were $90 and $200 for a meet and greet. He said that's not acceptable. Apparently, his friend was working as his booking agent, didn't know that's what you weren't supposed to do, so he didn't know that was a bad thing to do. So Oliver Anthony canceled the freaking concert. Well, all of a sudden, now the concert guy says, "No, wait a minute. You contracted to play a thing for us for $120,000 for 60 minutes, doing the math and knowing we can only hold 1,500 people, paying the ticket website their fee to sell the tickets means we broke even. We were not going to make any money on the closed night. We set the ticket price to break even and bring our customers a show we thought they would like and would be fun. Our talent agency and promoter friends that follow us, be careful booking the Northman of Richmond from now on." So now he's trying to dox Oliver Anthony, who canceled the show because of high ticket prices, which was his own guy's fault, basically. And now somebody's got to say, wait a minute, now Oliver Anthony's the bad guy trying to keep ticket prices down, and this guy says, "You just cost me a concert." Oh my God! I mean, there's always something. Anyway, God bless America. Like I don't have a girlfriend, but sometimes I feel like I pretend to have one. I just stand out on my deck and start screaming, "That's not what I said!" Sorry. Well, I gotta go. You're killing me. Pete and Flounder and the camera. Look out! Hoorah!